Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode in Highmetric's Tech Byte series. I'm Derek Burns, Senior Consultant here at Highmetric, and over the next few minutes I'm going to be guiding you through some elements of the Agent Workspace. In this particular episode we're going to be focusing on field service management. Now before we go into a demo, let's just spend a moment or two looking at what actually is a workspace. ServiceNow's definition is a workspace is a graphical user interface that puts multiple tools in one place, and they're designed for tier 1 agents who solve internal or external customer issues. Great explanation, but let's put a little bit of real world scenario around that. For those of you who've been using ServiceNow for some time, you've probably felt that pain of being on a particular screen, filling out a form or a ticket, and then you get interrupted halfway through. Now what do? Do you ignore the interruption? Well, generally you can't. So your options were that you had to quickly finish what you could or save the ticket at that particular point, close it down, go to your nav bar, go to the area that you need to deal with for the new task, complete that task, and then go back to the nav bar, find the original ticket that you were using, and then continue updating that. Now, none of that was the end of the world. But it was a little time consuming, a little inefficient. In that particular use case, it's one of the things that gets resolved with the Agent Workspace, being able to put multiple parts of the ServiceNow tooling into a single screen. Now, those of you who've been with ServiceNow for a while will remember the initial release of Agent Workspace. They did an initial limited availability release back in the London edition of ServiceNow. I think that was back in 2018. And since then, ServiceNow has been constantly improving and enhancing the Agent Workspace with every release, until we are where we are today, where we're now going to be focused on the enhancements they've added for field service management. So let's have a look at some of those enhancements in the Agent Workspace and actually run you through a demonstration. So I'm logged into ServiceNow as John Jason. John's going to be our customer service agent for today. And you'll see that we have a fairly traditional view of ServiceNow in front of you on the screen. What I'm going to do is open up the Agent Workspace. And we're going to start off in the Agent Workspace with a list of customer service cases that John's dealing with. It's that list that you've got here in front of us. And we'll use a scenario of one of those customers is calling up to notify him of a particular issue. Let's say that one of their routers is overheating. Of course, we could have done this via self-service, or it could be emailed in, but we're going to use a scenario here if it's a telephone call. So John would then come over, click on New, starts to create a new case for him. We could put in the short description of router overheating. And we just need to put in some customer details as well. So in this case, we'll say it was George Warren who's on the phone, and it automatically populates his account details. And of course, those of you who've been using the Agent Workspace in other areas before, as well as case management, you'll notice that the related search comes up based on the description, and it starts to find either articles or previous cases that have been logged, etc. Now, for the purposes of demo, we're just going to save at that point. And what we now have is a customer service case logged in the Agent Workspace. Now, none of that's new. This has been in the ServiceNow tooling for a little while. The bit we're going to show you now is the new pieces that have been added, the new enhancements that are focused around field service management. Now, before the enhancements, if I then wanted to take this case and assign it out to the field services team, i.e. go create a work order, I had to come out of the Agent Workspace, go into the traditional view, open up work order management in there, and go create a new work order. Okay. As I said before, a little time consuming, not the most efficient way of doing things. What we can do now though is we now got a button here that says create work order. So we'll go create that. And you'll see it's created a work order for us. It has extracted some of the details from the previous case and put those into the work order. And once we've created that work order, we could then send it off for dispatch, and the dispatcher could then assign that to a field engineer with the right skill set in the right area, and they could go complete the task. Before I do that though, I just want to use one of the other functions in here, which is to put a template against this so that we can automatically create the work order tasks and the parts requirements for this particular work order. Again, That functionality isn't new to ServiceNow, it's been around for a while, but we didn't have it within the agent workspace. So let me go do that here. The fact that this is an overheating router, we could then find a template here that's router maintenance overheating. So put that in, go click save, and now we're ready for dispatch. So we could then send this off for dispatch now that we've added that template. And now you will see as part of that, it's gone and created the work order task for us. And I can go and click on that and it opens up the work order task for me. And it's also created the parts requirements. In this case, a router cooling fan. Now at that point, our customer service agent has done their job. They've created the case, they've created the work order, and they've sent that off to dispatch. Let's now have a look at what dispatch do with that task. Let's just open up a different browser here. I'm logged in as Lisa Ray, who's our dispatcher today. But first thing you'll notice is that this isn't Agent Workspace. This is a traditional view of ServiceNow. And that's because the dispatcher role hasn't been added to the Agent Workspace just yet. That is coming, but it's not there just yet. But let's continue with our scenario. So Lisa looks after the San Francisco area and she can see that she has a work order task that needs attention here. Click on that. See, it's pending dispatch, and this is the one that we've just logged. So it's got the skill level that's automatically been created because it needs a router fan replacement, and we've got the various details. So Lisa can go through a task there and assign this. I'm just going to assign this to Ted Taylor. And obviously then she could add more notes, or she could adjust the start time for the job, the travel time, etc. And once she's happy, she can just go and update that. So now dispatch have done their job, assign the task to Teddy Taylor. Teddy will receive either an email notifying me, or it can be notified via the mobile app, and he can get on with the job. Now let's look at a scenario where the end customer, George Warren, who originally reported this, wants a progress report. So let's come out of Lisa's view and go back to the agent workspace. And let's say it's a different customer service agent who's not familiar with the case. They get the call from George and says, hey, what's the progress of my issue? So they can come to a list like this. They see the router overheating case. They could open that up. And here they have access to everything that's going on, the full timeline, all the history of the particular case. But they've also now got access to the work order. And they can open up the work order here to see what the progress of that is. And they can see that the work order has had some activity from both John Jason and Lisa Ray in the dispatch department, but it's also got a work order task associated with it. And we can go and have a look at that work order task. And now from here, the customer service agent can see everything around who the jobs are assigned to, when it's planned to start, the estimated end time, the estimated travel times. All that information's there freely available to them, as well as SLAs, part requirements, everything that's been going on. But you'll see from the top I've got this tab view, so at any point I can swap between the various different views if I need to, so I can get extra information. And that comes to that point I was making earlier on. You're not having to close down one screen, go to another, and go find your original screen again. Everything you're working on is available in one view here, and I can stop one task, go to the next at any point. So let's just summarize what we've seen in the Tech Byte today. We've looked at the ability to create both work orders and work order tasks within the agent workspace. Much more efficient way than we used to do it without the agent workspace. And we've also looked at the ability to provide the client with information about their cases in a much faster way. We're not having to go to multiple screens to get that. Everything's in one place. So finally, I just want to say thank you for joining us on this Tech Byte today. As always, you can contact us via email or LinkedIn. The addresses are on the screen there. This Tech Byte, as well as all of the others, will be available on our YouTube channel, and you can get more information about who Highmetric are on our web address there at the top. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next episode of Tech Bytes.